Good, numbing. Hello YouTube, I hope you're all doing well. We're back with Zero Escape 999. Or was it like 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors? Last time we left off, we got our journey started. We ended up taking the 4-door after getting stuck on a puzzle. Got stuck on another puzzle, but we picked up a bookmark along the way. And now here we are in the kitchen where our next escape room happens to take place and where I stopped last time. And we've got to figure out how to get out of this room too. And there's a lot here. So we're just going to start with the basics. Like hats, middle is super deep for a plate. They're soup plates. As in, we're just going to be working our way through the puzzle and carrying on. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've had a fantastic day, whatever it may be that you've gotten up to. I hope you treat yourself to a nice dinner out. What makes you think a poor college student has the money to do something like that? 9 plates. They're plates for appetizers. Remember, appetizers usually come on square plates. Alright, well excuse me, princess. I think there are 15 of those plates. I'm assuming they're for seafood. How the hell can you tell that? They look like just any other place from the 99-cent store. If you ever take a lady out to dinner, you're going to embarrass yourself. I feel sorry for June. Why the hell are you bringing up June? The lady doth protest too much, methinks. You're not terribly subtle. It's a bunch of little wavy ridges on this plate. Those plates are for serving meat. You really are ignorant, aren't you? Come on, it's not like I need to know this crap. Jeez. What about this one? There's a voucher at the end of the counter. The voucher doesn't match the number of plates on the table. It says appetizer 9, meat dish 10, soup A, seafood dish F on the voucher. And the plates on the table are 9 appetizers, 16 meat, 10 soup, and 15 seafood. Maybe they're using hexadermal here. Oh, sorry, hexadecimal. Hexadermal. And hexadecimal is... It's a number system that goes 8, 9, A, B, C, D, E, F, 10, 11. You're familiar with base 10, right? That's the normal system of numbers. The base 10 equivalents for hexadecimal numbers would go like this. A equals 10, B equals 11, C equals 12, D equals 13, E equals 14, F equals 15, and 10 equals 16. And 10 becomes 16 in base 10. I know it sounds strange, but you think of it as just 6 letters aside on letters added onto the normal number system after 9. A, 10, B, 11, yada yada, and then 10, 16, and so on. I think I get it. A countertop. You got a rolling pin and a colander. Nothing useful, in other words. There's a tank with a pipe coming out of it. Nothing really that special talking about it. At least we don't have to worry about lights this time. That's the door out. It's a card reader. Since the light's red, I figure it's probably still locked. The key card's got to be around here somewhere. We're just got to find it. Damn, didn't work. It doesn't matter how many times you try it. The door isn't going to open until we solved all the puzzles in the room. I'm sure this is all part of Zero's plan. I just can't imagine what his motives could be. Display on the... Oh, jeez. It's probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe if we put in the right number, it'll open the oven door. Alright, remember that for later. An iron oven. It's pretty heavy duty. It's probably industrial quality. I bet you could cook anything with this. Anyway, let's have a look inside. Damn, I knew it. It's locked. All we've got here is a pot and frying pan. Oh, and a pressure cooker. Well, I guess we could use some of those as weapons. What kind of idiot are you? You're gonna run around holding that thing while you're looking for the dead? Hey man, it was just a joke. Why so serious? Got seasoning here. It's only a partition. There's nothing else worth noting here. Sink. Still got water in it. There's a couple plates in here, but I don't think they're going to help us much. A whetstone? Alright. What are you trying to do with that? Oh shit, didn't know you were going to try and smash open the card reader. Are you an idiot? If you do that, then we'll never get out of here. Oh, yeah, I guess that would be bad, huh? This whetstone's only going to be useful if we need to sharpen something. I don't like how this spins us around the room. It's like, this makes sense. But here, we straight up move. We move around, like, we were here. We were on the other side of this partition. We come around and get to here, and he just kind of snaps us here. And then we come here, we were just there, and we come all the way down to here. And nothing inside. Well, better being a rotten food, I suppose. And nothing in here. Hey, Senta, digging through the trash really suits you. What the hell did you just say? Listen, lady, I did you a favor. I knew you'd just piss and moan, so I did it for you. Oh my, I don't recall asking you to do anything. Ugh, I gotta throttle you. Egg squeeze me? Does it feel colder in here? What's this? Alright, it's going. Do you think it's all part of Zero's plan? Probably. Kinda hard to believe there's a chef on board somewhere. Please open up. No, you can't. I already checked. It's sealed shut. I think that's where the coal goes. What about the shelf above it? I wonder what this drawer is. See the metal grate on top of the grill? They make it like that so it's fat, so the fat and juices drip off the meat while it cooks. Lots of notes. There's a bunch of stuff written on them, but it doesn't look like a code or anything like that. I just still got a bar on it. It's a bowl. And it's really rusty. Is it even open? We won't know until we try. Let's give it a shot. Alright, let's see if it's gonna come out. Damn. No dice. Oh, there's a bolt keeping us from opening it. What, this door? Storage room. There's so much stuff in here. A whole lot of cans. It's probably a pantry. There's milk in here. Milk in an iron barrel. Judging by the rust, it's probably really old. Maybe we shouldn't open it up. I don't think it'd be a pretty sight. Or smell. Cheese, Gromit. What's that bottle behind us? Hey, there's something behind this cheese. You're right. Why don't we move some of the cheese? Alright guys, time to move it. June and I need to look behind you. There's a little green bottle back there. Bottle of oil. That's cooking oil. He could have used this to make something slippery. This is Gouda cheese. The most famous Dutch cheese. If you don't cut open the casing, it usually won't go bad. So you can store it in room temperature for quite a while. So we can eat this? Most unlikely. I'm not hungry at all. I guess it's hard to get hungry in a situation like this. There's cheese on the shelf. Sweet. Oh, what's this? Oh, Jesus. There's a knife in this box.
A rusty knife? I don't think we'll be able to use it while it's like this.
The knife seemed important, Junpei thought, but it wasn't going to be of much use the way it was.
It's futile.
Futile?
You know, a waste, useless, pointless.
Oh. Any particular reason you wanted to bring that up?
Oh, no reason really. I was just thinking about futility.
Huh?
She wasn't making much sense. Junpei tried rephrasing his question.
Why were you thinking about futility?
At last, she answered.
Well, it has something to do with the Titanic.
The Titanic?
Yep. Have you ever heard the story that the sinking of the Titanic was predicted?
No, I haven't.
No, I haven't. What is it?
In 1892, 14 years before the Titanic sank, a novel was published. It was called Futility. It was written by an American novelist named Morgan Robertson. The story was about a big cruise ship colliding with an iceberg and sinking. Of course, if that was the only similarity, there wouldn't be any reason to mention it. It wasn't, though. The name of the ship, its nationality, course, departure time, size, displacement, maximum speed, number of passengers and crew, the number of lifeboats, even the location of the accident itself, and the cause, and the location of the damage. Everything matches the Titanic almost exactly. It was almost as if he'd seen the whole thing happen. But this book was written 14 years before the Titanic sank. But that's not all. It wasn't just futility that predicted the sinking of the Titanic. There were two other similar stories written by a man named William Thomas Stead. Both of them before the accident. One in 1886 and one in 1892. Stead wrote two stories that had striking similarities to the Titanic disaster. In one, two ships collided. Many of the passengers died because there weren't enough lifeboats. In the other, a ship collided with an iceberg and sank.
I don't know. I mean, I'll give you that it seems a little weird, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't too uncommon for ships to hit icebergs back in the day, or even other ships.
Right, I knew you'd say that. But what if Stead had some sort of special powers? To be more specific, what if he had the ability to do automatic writing?
What? Automatic writing? Wait, are you talking about when someone's possessed by a spirit and then they write a bunch of stuff without knowing what they're writing?
Yes.
What do you mean, yes? That stuff's a load of bull.
But Jumpy, you said you believe in curses.
Come on, that's totally different. Okay, let's say, hypothetically, that automatic writing isn't a total load. These guys still couldn't have predicted the sinking of the Titanic. When this Stead dude wrote his thing, nobody had died on the Titanic yet. So if automatic writing is about being possessed by dead people, who the hell possessed him so he could write that stuff?
That's not it.
What's not it?
Stead wasn't possessed by a spirit. He was doing the possessing.
What are you smoking?
William Thomas Stead was a passenger on the Titanic. He just wrote down what he saw with his own eyes 20 years before it happened.
You decided it was probably best to say nothing. What June was saying was insane and utterly absurd. If you tried to take what she was saying seriously, you'd go mad. Junpei smiled uncomfortably.
Well, why don't we talk about this some other time, okay?
Huh? But...
Her voice trailed off and she glanced at the floor, troubled.
Come on, let's get back to it.
Junpei tapped Jun gently on the shoulder and awkwardly reached around her to pick up the knife from the box. I used the whetstone to soften the knife. And the knife's getting sharper by the second. Should be able to cut something pretty good with this. Wow, it's so shiny. Did you sharpen it, Junpei? Yup. Now we can use it to cut something soft. Like the cheese! Ah. No, I kind of feel, I feel for June in that one, because we all, like, at least I do, I have, like, moments where, like, it's like some little weird trivia or, like, random thing that you just hear, that you just kind of keep with you, because you're just like, wow, isn't this really cool and weird, and you end up going on a tangent, and someone else just kind of goes, what the fuck are you smoking? Okay, this pot, look, it's made out of silver. I bet drinking tea from this pot would be really yummy. Spending a day off with June, drinking tea. Could such a day ever happen for me? Jumpy? Oh, nothing. We don't really need hot water, so we should be moving on. Can I, like, try it on this? A rusted bolt. The door won't open until we do something about this bolt. Maybe we had some kind of lubricant? Oh. Yeah, the oil. Of course. Maybe if I put some oil on it. Hey. Just a little bit of oil, then. Come on, you son of a bitch. Oh. Ah, you gotcha, you little bastard. You did it, Jumpy. You're so smart. As Junpei walked into the room, a blast of cold air washed over him. Almost instinctively, he folded his arms tight across his chest, doing what he thought he could to conserve body heat.
Oh, yeah, it's cold in here. What is this place?
Are you blind? It's a freezer.
Then why are you still in here, Santa? Santa's teeth had already begun to chatter. Hardly surprising. The freezer was far too cold for someone dressed as he was. Lotus, however, was even in a worse situation.
Oh, no way. That's way too cold for me. I'll freeze solid in seconds. Sorry, but I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one. I'm going to leave the rest to you.
Shit. And with that, she ran out of the room. As Lotus left, June came in.
Oh, whoa. It's really cold in here.
White puffs of steam hovered in front of their faces as they talked. June had already started to shiver.
You don't need to be in here. You had a fever just a little bit ago. You should stay outside. We got this.
No, I'm fine. My fever's gone now.
But
Junpei had scarcely opened his mouth
Huh?
when the thunderous sound of metal upon metal rang out from behind them. In unison, they spun around, only to find the door they'd only recently come through was closed. Junpei rushed to the door.
why did it suddenly close?
Desperately, he grabbed a hold of the doorknob.
Ah,
It was cold, beyond cold. Merely touching it was
the
painful.
knob's frozen.
But why?
They got you to deduce that the pipe next to the door had ruptured.
Looks like the pipe next to it broke, and
Water released by the rupture had hit the door and froze instantly. Sensor shoved Junpei aside and pounded against the door.
Hey, Lotus! You're out there, right? Open the door!
She wasted no time in responding.
What do you want? What's going on?
The door won't open! Try opening it from that side, please!
Oh, fine. If you say so. Hold on.
Soon, they could hear Lotus on the other side of the door. Then the grunting ceased and they could hear the light panting, as if from exertion.
It's no use. It won't budge. You've got more people in there. You figure it out.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh,
God damn it.
Santa was shaking like a newborn deer. Jin was hugging herself as she was shivering violently. Even Junpei, with the heaviest clothes of all of them, was clearly feeling the cold. With every breath they took, they could feel the cold working its way deeper and deeper into their bodies.
anyway, let's find a way out. If we don't get moving, we're gonna be permanent residents.
two heads are better than none. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Yeah, you're right. Let's just take a good look around this room, okay?
Right.
They pushed close to one another and began to search. Yeah, like I can imagine like all three of them are like huddling shoulder to shoulder whilst looking around the room. There has to be something. Dry ice? Can't you make that stuff cause an explosion if you steal it in something that's airtight? Explode? Yeah, didn't you do that at school? You should never underestimate the power of expanding gas. Junpei picked up the dry ice in his sleeves to avoid burning himself.
Dry ice is just frozen carbon dioxide, right?
Yeah, it is.
I wonder how warm it has to get for it to turn back into gas again.
Hell if I know. How is that gonna help us anyway?
Oh, well, I figured we might be able to use it to get out of here.
They were about to move on when Jin spoke up.
Carbon dioxide sublimation point is negative 109 degrees. Any warmer than that, and it'll turn into gas. Any lower, and it becomes a solid.
Junpei looked at her, dumbfounded.
Oh, how do you know that?
Despite my looks, I am the the queen of random knowledge.
Clean. Aww. That's cute. That's cute.
Looks bad to mess up when you're showing off.
That's something I'd do. That's something I'd do. Like get a bit of confidence in you and immediately flub.
Oh, you're so cold your mouth's going numb?
Yes, that's right.
You're just doing that on purpose, aren't you?
Jin giggled and did her best to hide her guilt. At least she was still feeling good enough to joke around, Junpei told himself.
Come on, guys. Don't you think that's kind of weird? I wonder why it doesn't turn into a liquid first.
Santa was now shivering at an astounding rate, but his curiosity seemed unaffected. Junpei. What? He wants to not freeze to death. Why is that? Why are you asking me this? Now I'm really suspicious. Like, now I'm really suspicious. I'm saving. Now I'm really fucking suspicious. Why would you ask me that?
It is kind of weird.
Jin answered.
But it can turn into a liquid. Carbon dioxide turns to liquid if you put it under high enough pressure. But at 1 atmosphere, normal air pressure,
It won't turn into a liquid, right?
that's right. Instead of melting, it'll do what's called sublimating and change immediately from a solid state to a gaseous one.
See, that is weird. Water's a liquid between 32 degrees and 212 degrees, so why isn't that the case for carbon dioxide?
Jin replied with an answer that stunned both of them.
There's a kind of ice that doesn't turn into liquid when it goes above 32 degrees.
Huh?
I heard about it. Its melting point is 96 degrees.
Ice with a melting point of 96 degrees?
You mean there's water that freezes at 96 degrees?
Yeah, well, you could also look at it as ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees.
Why is it in all bold? Why do... Oh, God, I'm going to need to know this, aren't I? Oh, no. I'm going to need to know this. All right, let me get the pen and paper. Alright, where was my notes from yesterday? Oh, there is. I'll put it next to June, or Kane, because she's the one that mentioned it. Water that freezes at 96 degrees. I'm assuming they mean Fahrenheit and not Celsius. So I'm just going to put degrees in general. Because I don't know Fahrenheit, I'm sorry. Ice that won't melt until it's 96 degrees? Junpei was cold as hell, but this was too interesting to ignore. He did his best to warm up by rubbing his arms and stamping his feet, then put the question to June.
So what's this ice with a melting point of 96 degrees called?
I heard it's called Ice 9.
I've heard of this. Ice 9, I'm sure I have. Okay, I think that was worth inquisiting, even if we're freezing our butts off.
Ice 9?
Originally, Ice 9 was a made-up substance invented by a science fiction author.
That's probably where I heard it from, then.
But recently, scientists have discovered that such a substance actually exists.
Wait, hold up. So is this thing called Ice 9, or is it water?
Like I said, if the ice is over 96 degrees, it'll be liquid. If it's under that, it'll solidify. So you could think of it as a polymorph of H2O. Here, think of it like diamonds and graphite. They're both made of carbon, right? But depending on the structure of the crystallization, the hardness and structure are completely different.
So you're saying normal water and this Ice 9 are like that?
Yup.
She wasn't finished.
Have you heard the story about the crystallization of glycerin? For 150 years after the discovery of glycerin, people cooled it, warmed it. They did all sorts of things to it. But whatever they did, it never crystallized. However, one day in 1920, some glycerin on its way to England by ship was discovered to have crystallized during the trip. Scientists around the world wanted to research this new crystallized form of glycerin and asked for seeds. Oh, a seed is a sample of the original crystallized substance. With a seed crystal, further crystallization of glycerin would be easy. However, something very strange happened. Not only did the glycerin encouraged by seed crystals begin to crystallize, even the samples nearby did. even though they were tightly sealed. And it didn't end there. After that day, it doesn't matter where in the world it is. All glycerin crystallizes naturally when cooled to less than 64 degrees. Before that day, no matter how glycerin was cooled, it refused to crystallize. But once the crystallization had begun, it was almost like... how do I put it? It was almost like all the glycerin in the world was communicating. Communicating in some way that we can't sense. And now it's happening everywhere.
Junpei was honestly impressed, was kind of annoyed. No, I'm impressed. Was honestly impressed. It was, in fact, a pretty interesting story.
That's pretty interesting. But, what does that have to do with Ice 9?
To his surprise, it was Santa, and not June, who answered.
What she's saying is that it's a lot like Ice 9. What happened, I mean.
A lot like? Oh, that would be bad. If water everywhere started freezing at 96 degrees, man.
It'd be the end of the world.
And we felt that Santa might not be treating the idea of the end of the world with the proper concern.
At any rate, we're not gonna have to worry about the end of the world unless we can get out of here pretty damn quick.
He was right. Junpei shivered.
Alright, guys, I think that's enough of that. I didn't think we'd get quite this far off topic. I mean, I know I'm kind of at fault here, but we can't be screwing around anymore.
I mean, come on, it was interesting. I completely get June being a complete fountain of random bullshit knowledge, because I'm exactly the same.
So seriously, I might go by the name Santa right now, but I didn't grow up in Iceland. I freaking hate the cold. So let's get cracking, alright? We gotta find a way out of here.
Santa stomped off, Gree, doing his best to pretend the cold wasn't affecting him.
Selfish, isn't he?
Still, Santa was right, and it was high time they got back to the search.
Ice 9 is interesting and all, but we can discuss it more once we get out of this freezer.
Junpei looked at June, nodded, and resumed his search for the room. Hey, Junpei, didn't you find some dry ice earlier? Yeah? There's warm water coming out of that pipe. Warm water and dry ice. What do you think would happen if you put that stuff in a sealed container together? Water driven from that pipe. It looks like when the pipe burst, the water hit the doorknob and froze in place. The water actually seems almost warm. Doorknob. It means this. I think. A water bottle. Yes, it is. A sturdy rope. It's a rope? Well, we could use it to attach something to something else, I suppose. Anything else here that looks useful? Some frozen meat up there. It looks like pork. What's this? It looks like a tag or something. Jumpy, is there a slip of paper in that meat? I think there's something written on here, but I can't read it like this. If I try and put it out, it'll probably rip. I need to defrost that. I don't think we're going to be doing that in this room. Oh, I thought I had it. Warm, Make it smaller then, don't you, you genius? Too much of a miss, see what's going on over the other end. I need to crush the dry ice, I want to get into that bottle. Oh, can I like... Damn it, I was like, can I like flatten it with the chunk of pork? That's got to be heavy, right? Really hard, it's frozen stiff. Hey Jun, you can say that again. Eh? Say it again. It's really hard. Again, it's really hard. Thanks. Thanks, wrong Junpei? Your face is bright red. Nothing, it's fine. It's that hard, you can probably use it as a hammer. Yeah, good point. Maybe we can use it to break something. What was that about, Junpei? Alright, the dry ice is in pieces now. Put his dry ice into his water bottle. And then the pipe? Or from the pipe? Not yet, Junpei. Going to get that stuff we want unless you hook that bottle to the doorknob somehow. Explode right next to the doorknob. Oh, okay, and then we put the rope around it. And tie a rope on here. A bomb. Warm water dripped from the ruptured pipe near the door.
Water into the bottle with dry ice, and make sure the lid's closed. Now I just have to put this makeshift bomb on the doorknob. Alright, that's set. So, what do we do now?
Hide.
I just need to give it a little, tap. The bottle's already about to pop. If we just throw a rock or something at it, it'll go off all on its own.
A small rock. Huh. A small rock.
Junpei looked down at the floor. Scattered across were pieces of dry ice left over from the larger chunk he crushed earlier.
Alright, this ought to do the trick.
He pulled his sleeves down over his hand to keep it from getting burned and grabbed the chunk of dry ice.
Ah, some dry ice, huh? Not a bad idea.
It was a pretty good size. About as big as a pool ball.
Alright guys, stand back. Actually, we should probably hide somewhere.
Both Santa and June looked at him with new
Where
concern.
exactly do you expect us to hide, genius?
There isn't really anywhere big enough.
Yeah, there is. Look, right here. We can hide in there.
Junpei pulled open the door to the small cellar.
Come on, get inside, quick.
Santa and June nodded and jumped down into the hole. Junpei quickly followed. Sand, you could feel the chill of frozen carbon dioxide even through his sleeve. He tightened his grip, took aim, prepared to throw.
Alright, here I go. 3, 4, 5.
You're counting the wrong way.
Oh, oops.
Junpei, you fucking idiot. It's 3, 2, 1.
That is a really sad excuse for a joke, man.
Sorry, dude. Alright, for real this time. You guys ready?
Yes, whenever you're ready.
Just throw the damn thing.
Alright, here I go. 3, 2, 1.
Junpei threw the chunk of dry ice as hard as he could. With the same motion, he ducked into the cellar with Santa and June, just as... Junpei leapt up out of the cellar and ran to the door.
Jumpy! The ice on the door! Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone.
The blast must have shattered it.
Yes. Alright, let's see if it opens.
Junpei grabbed the knob and pushed with all his might. The door gave way easily and all three of them tumbled out of the freezer at once.
Hooray! We're out!
Jun, relieved, collapsed onto the floor.
Move!
Santa shoved past Junpei and ran straight to the grill, which he immediately grabbed.
Oh, god damn it! Hot, 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 hot. Fuck!
That's your own fault, you idiot. He proceeded to kick the grill in a futile but amusing fit of rage.
You did just grab the grill. What did you think would happen? Hey, where's Lotus?
It took Junpei only a moment to find her. She was sitting on the counter, idly scratching her chest.
Welcome back. I was starting to get tired of waiting for you guys.
With a great yawn, Lotus lowered herself off of the counter. Junpei clenched his teeth and walked towards her.
What were you doing?
What do you mean, what was I doing? I was waiting.
We were gonna die.
Oh, yeah? But you didn't. So everything worked out all right, didn't it?
What the hell?
Just kidding. It might not look like it, but I was really worried.
Oh, don't give me that crap.
I'm telling the truth. I mean, if you died, then I'd be in trouble too. If you died, then I'd be stuck here, and I'd die too. See? I did all I could. I even looked around to see if there was anything I could use to pry open the door. But I couldn't find anything. So, all I could do was wait. I mean, what else did you want me to do? Call the cops?
It was true there wasn't much she could have done, but something about her tone. Junpei gritted his teeth.
But there's one thing I have to ask you.
What's that?
You didn't close the door, did you?
What? You think I closed the door on you? Why would I do something like that? It closed on its own. I told you before, if you die, then I die too.
Yeah, I guess so.
It seemed that an accident was the only explanation for the door's closure.
If she'd really wanted to kill us, all she had to do was bar the door from the outside. But she didn't. Well, she didn't do anything. She's only lazy, or negligent at least. Not an attempted murderer.
Junpei swallowed his anger and did his best to apologize.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you.
Oh, yes, well that's alright. As long as you understand.
Lotus looked away and swallowed her hair between her fingertips. His vengeance against the grill complete. Sansa swaggered back towards Junpei and Lotus.
Hey, no more screwing around, you two. Break time's over. Especially for you, lady. You've just been sitting on that fat ass of yours while we were freezing to
That fat ass! You've just been sitting on that fat fucking ass. She'd be like, what, were you looking?
How rude! I was plenty busy.
Yeah. How about you put all that energy into something besides bitching? Let's go.
Well, we already know what's next. Guess I'll put the meat on the grill. We need to get that note out. Hey, what are you doing? What are you going to do if the paper burns? Come on, it'll be fine. I mean, it's not like it's going to burn right away, right? We just got to keep an eye on it, and the paper will be fine. Well, they can argue all they want. I'm going to keep an eye on this pork. Yeah, looks like it's about time. I'm going to try taking the paper out. Jumpy, be careful. So you've heard of care, but I know what I'm... Ouch! See? Told you. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Hurry up and take the paper out. It's not coming out. This thing's frozen stiff. I still can't get it out. So you're going to have to cut the meat. Yeah, it looks that way. Alright, now I've sharpened the knife, so I can cut the pork. Awesome, Junpei. Then we can cut out the paper. C plus 10 plus F. Damn it, they're just screwing around. Junpei, do you know what the C and F stands for? You think maybe it means corporate finance? I thought it was clever and funny. No, it's, A is 10, B is 11, C is 12. We already know that 10 is 16, so 12 plus 16, and F is 15. So 12 plus 16, 28, plus 15, 43? Right? I don't know, make sure I'm not going crazy. 12 plus 16, 28. Plus 15, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. Yeah. It's probably what you're supposed to use to enter the password. Maybe put the right number and it'll open the door. Junpei, maybe the note you found earlier? Yeah, I know. Do you know how to enter those numbers? I think E is for enter and C is for clearing. So basically, when I'm ready to submit my answer, I press E. So if I screw up, I just press C, right? Lotus nodded. Alright, let's go to shot. Sounds like metal is falling. Well, I guess that went well. Yeah, the door opened. Good job, Jumpy. The Saturn keycard. Locates H, but the line's throwing me off. It's a symbol for Saturn. Remember? There was an elevator next to the main staircase. Wasn't there a mark on this one card reader next to it? Oh yeah, I remember that. I guess that means the card ain't gonna help us out of this room then. I'm not sure. Why don't we try it out? Yes! I think it unlocked now. You did it, Jumpy. Let's get out of here. Yeah, let's go. That one was alright. That was the first one we kind of just, like, everything sort of fell into place as we went. That one wasn't too bad.
I think we've been here before.
Metal grate stretched from wall to wall. Beyond it were 2 elevators in the entrance to the kitchen.
The elevators are over there, so that means...
We went into the kitchen through that door and came out on this side.
That means the map was right.
Looks like.
Then let's use it to plan our next move.
Next move?
Yeah, we need to decide where to go from here, don't we?
He's right. Let's get started.
From the looks of it, there are 4 possible routes. Let's just keep it simple and call them A, B, C, and D.
Alright, path C is the path I want to say the other team took. D goes to another floor, and A and B goes to the same room but from different areas.
First, A and B.
They both seem to connect to a room that looks L-shaped.
Yeah, there were 2 doors. But they were both locked. We couldn't open them.
Now, Route C. This goes all the way to the main staircase.
That means it's door 5, one of the numbered doors.
Then do you think we would meet up with the other 4 after this hallway?
No, I don't think we will.
Why not?
Look, there by the stairs. See how the gate is opened? When we went into the kitchen, it was closed.
Oh, good eyes, Lotus. I didn't notice that at all.
But it's open now.
So they've already gone
What
ahead.
that means?
They opened it.
Most likely.
And if we take Route C, we're going backwards.
That would be pointless.
Then that means...
All 4 looked at the map. They all looked at the staircase. Its lazy curve leading down deeper into the ship.
Route D, then.
D it is.
Yup, Route D.
Then we're set.
They jogged down the stairs till they reached the C deck.
Everything looks okay here.
Let's check the next deck just to be sure.
Yeah, just like I thought. D-deck is totally underwater.
Just like the bottom of the central staircase.
The water gazed back at them, its smooth surface like a great mirror.
At least the water level hasn't really changed.
Small comfort.
May as well head back to C deck.
What else is here?
There are 2 elevators over there at the top of the stairs. Just like the floor above.
Hold on. These are kind of different. See? There's a card reader on the side.
Another strange mark.
Oh, that's Mercury, isn't it?
Hey, look! It's Lotus's symbol.
Huh?
See? It's the woman symbol with horns on it.
Junpei, fuck on.
That seems like... Oh, ouch, 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 ouch!
Lotus had taken hold of Junpei's hair. She began to shake him violently, and he thought he heard a low growl coming from her throat.
What was that about the mark again?
Nothing.
Oh, not time and a place. Such violence. Oh, I'm coming around the Junpei. I'm coming around. He's a dork. Junpei began to wonder if she was not the devil itself. With an uncomfortable smile, Jun spoke up.
This is a Mercury symbol.
Hey, I was right. It is Mercury.
The horns symbolize the wings on Hermes' staff.
It's okay, Jin. I'm as bad of a nerd as you are.
Hermes herpes, whatever.
Alright, Santa.
If we can't get this thing to work, these elevators aren't going anywhere.
In other words, we need a key card with the Mercury symbol on it.
Probably.
I guess we can't get on then. Let's just disregard the elevators for now.
How about this hallway on the left?
Whoa, there's so many doors.
They weren't sure how many, but certainly enough to be discouraging.
Damn it. If we try and search all these, the sun's gonna go down before we've done half of them.
I think the sun already set.
I have a feeling this ship is the only thing that's going to be going down anytime soon.
That's even worse.
We can come back to this hallway later. Let's check the hallway on the other side, shall we?
Time to head back to the stairs.
To their right was a small hallway.
And now the right hallway.
Quickly, they headed into it. It was approximately the same size as the alcove in front of the stairs. The hallway led towards the stern, and at its end was a set of double doors.
There are doors here too. Well, I guess it's just 4 this time.
Let's open them.
All right, let's start with this one.
Junpei nodded and grabbed the one closest to him. He gave it a small tug and felt it move.
Huh, it isn't locked. I'm going to open it.
Thrilled to have found an unlocked door, he threw it open. Junpei didn't know what to make of what he saw.
What?
Oh no! Oh no! Not another split! Oh, we're not at it yet, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, this is, like, because we're going to reunite with the gang, talking, and then picking where to split. But there's a third split, so is there another door somewhere? What? There's 3 fucking doors. Oh no! Oh no, there's 3 doors. He simply stood, unable to speak. The other simply stared, open-mouthed. After a few long moments, Santa managed to speak.
What the hell is this? This place is huge.
A massive room stretched out in front of them. More a cavern than a room. Its vastness was oppressive, and it bore down on the 4 companions. It was not empty, however. The entire room was filled with lines upon lines of bed.
Oh, there are beds everywhere.
They were simple things, little more than pipe and thin mattresses.
Is this a hospital?
He had at least hoped of being able to put a name onto the harsh scents that pervaded the room.
It definitely has the smell.
Could be. I see medicine cabinets and surgical tools.
Hey, look there. The 4 doors at the end.
3 of them were emblazoned with a large single-digit number made with thick red paint.
The left door says 3. The second door is blank, but the third has a 7. And the rightmost door is 8. There's no doubt. They're numbered doors.
Why is the second door blank? That seems kind of strange, don't you think?
No point worrying about it right now. Let's see if these will open first.
Yes, that sounds like a good plan.
Junpei headed towards the doors, weaving his way between the beds. He started with door 3 on the left and moved to the right until he reached door 8. Well, yeah, it's going to have to play the game. Well, because none of them. Yeah, none of them are going to open because you've got to play the game.
Use.
Well, of course. If it was that easy.
Also, hello, one man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, numbered doors in the nonary game, where nonary means 9. Oh no! And everything's about numbers.
We have to activate the red, or the numbered doors won't. Wait a minute.
What's wrong?
Look, the display on the red. There's nothing on it.
Huh?
Don't you remember? The red at the central staircase? If no one was inside, it said vacant.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So does that mean
But this
they're
one-
in there?
There's nothing on it.
Right?
I wonder if it's broken.
Only one way to find out.
Mr. Silly is Danganronpa. Yeah. Do your numbers don't make 8. So even if it went through, it wouldn't count. Because wait, hang on a minute. Because Santa, Me Smiles, June, Lotus. It wouldn't open anyway. It wouldn't open even if it worked. So what was the point of this? They're like, come on, we need an 8. That wouldn't open. They just wasted their fucking time.
It's not responding.
All 4 took turns placing their hands over the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled at the lever and it still did nothing. As they soon discovered, it wasn't only the red for door 8 that was behaving strangely.
How about the red on door 7? And door 3?
None of them are working.
What does it mean?
Yeah, all you've missed,
You know
one
what?
man, is that the next escape room we were in, where I ended my last stream, the kitchen, was actually pretty straightforward. It was just a lot of steps. But everything kind of led into the next step. It was just a lot of them, so it took a while to get through anyway. But we went on a tangent, which I didn't have to do, but I let June keep talking, because June, or Akane, to use her real name, she has a habit of getting sidetracked and just talking about random fucking trivia that she just has stored in her brain. And she started talking about Ice 9, and I just kind of let her talk on. So, like, we learned that there's a water that can freeze at 96 degrees called Ice 9. And I was like, the fact that we learned that, and that was like a point of, like, it was a conversation I could have stopped happening, but chose to engage with, makes me think that might end up being important for, like, the paths later on. So I kept that, I made a note. So the two, like, character-based notes I have is that Santa has a thing against luck and gave us a bookmark, and June knows that there's a type of water that can freeze at 96 degrees called Ice 9. Oh, and I suppose if I want to count all sorts of trivia, we've got a random history lesson from Lotus about Sheldrake, and this phenomenon of information being shared subconsciously between people.
Zero sure sucks at maintenance.
No, that's impossible. You really think Zero, who prepared all of this, would make such a stupid, simple mistake?
Maybe, but that doesn't explain why this thing ain't working.
Maybe it's because everyone has to be here. We're still waiting on the other team. Even though I thought they were ahead of us, and so it was at that moment that they heard a voice from behind them.
I believe the bottom of the device has been removed.
They spun around to see.
Snake!
Subconsciously. It's a theory, that's all. Lotus was just talking about, like, this old wives' tale theory from, like, the 19th century of, also early 20th century, of this idea that if enough people know of something, other people will just somehow come to that knowledge, even if no one's ever told them. Like, some kind of subconscious messaging. She like, afterwards, like, she says, oh, psych, gotcha, it's just a bit of, like, pseudoscience bullshit. But the fact that she made a point of explaining it in a mystery game made me think it's going to be important somehow. Like, they're either going to make me remember the name, or they're going to remember something about the description of it, you know? Because the whole story was, like, they did an experiment with, like, an image where it doesn't look like a real thing, but it is. Like, it looks like a bunch of shapes. Like, it looks like a bunch of shapes, and then they do the whole, what does it look like to you? And they said, like, when they first did it, when no one could talk to each other, only about 3% correctly guessed it was supposed to be a dog. But then they privately showed 10,000 other people and told them directly it was a dog, and then a few weeks later found a completely different random group, tested it on them, and something like 6% got it. So, like, the fact that the rate had doubled, it was like, maybe, like, it like to lean into their pseudoscience bullshit theory, it had somehow influenced them, and it wasn't just a coincidence. And then the moment when Junpei was just about to acknowledge it and be like, okay, that seems kind of weird, was the moment Lotus just went, that's psych. But it was the fact that she went on that tangent to begin with. It's like, even though it might be bullshit, the fact that she went on that tangent might mean something for the mystery. Like, we might need to know who Sheldrake, the man who made that theory, is to some extent, you know? Which is why I made a note of it, because it's like, there's a, like, in a mystery game, random tangents are never random. You know, like, random tangents are never random, even if they pretend they are. There's a reason for it. Anyway, we're reuniting with the old group, so hello, Snake. But it was more than just Snake. Ace, my old buddy.
Hey,
Seven and pink hair. Oh, sorry, Clover. Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. It had been the other party who'd opened the gate in front of the kitchen. It wasn't unreasonable that they'd bump into one another eventually. The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised.
How did you end up here?
That's my line?
Perhaps we should exchange information.
Why are you that surprised? We like Jupiter just whips out the map. It's like, look at how your path, my path, converge. Of course we were gonna reunite, you idiots. After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk, desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through and how they ended up at the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. They were happy to simply see one another again. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile. Almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the ninth man. What, he didn't even have a name. He was just a psycho dude, so got what was coming to him, so it's fine. This is the real group. No, thought Junpei. Perhaps this wasn't it. Perhaps the thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. Not in a morbid or hateful way, no, the ninth man had died, but they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. For those who are still alive. He felt sorry for the ninth man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive. You know, I'm glad that, like, there have been moments so far where Junpei has been more than just, like, the voice of the player. Like, even, like, we've caught him being a perv once, and we've caught him genuinely, like, throwing shade at someone once. And it's just, like... And, like, it's appreciated. Because it's, like, so we caught him being a perv, because, like, even though, like, I don't care for it, it's nice to actually get a character out of him. Because we found, like, frozen meat, and June just casually went, wow, that chicken's, like, long and hard. And Junpei just, without hesitating, just went, Jun, can you say that again, please? Just like, fuck off, Junpei. Wow, it's long and hard. What, do you want to say it again? And it's like, no, I'm good. Fuck, shut up, Junpei. And the other one where we found the symbol for Mercury. The symbol for Mercury looks like the symbol for female, but with horns on it. And Junpei went, look, Lotus, it's you. See, a woman with horns. You're gonna try to play VN, try anonymous code. So I want some done with Naito, hence was Mirage. Fair enough. Yeah, I have been like keeping an eye on anonymous code, but I think anonymous code, I think that one's got recording blocks on it, so I probably won't. Or at least not on stream. Because otherwise I'd only be able to do part of it.
Our half of the story.
His part finished, Ace fell silent. For a moment, Junpei was silent. In thought, then he spoke.
Let me see if I got all this straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone.
And you looked all over this room, but you couldn't find anything.
So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors.
So you went and had a look?
Yeah, we took one glance at the hallway and went, that's like a million doors, we'll come back later. Nitro Plus trial to bankrupt themselves, challenge impossible.
Yeah.
And while you were looking around, you heard voices.
Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here.
Indeed. And that was how we found you.
Okay, that makes sense. It's nice to reunite with the group. The only person in our still alive group I'm kind of like on the fence about how much I directly trust is Seven. And that's just because, and that's not trust because I think he's going to betray us. It's trust for him to keep himself together because he's kind of like the brawn. And I was like, I don't know if something will like push him over the edge if he'll strike out and cause problems. Like Ace, he's very much like a natural born leader, so I kind of trust him. Snake comes across untrustworthy, but he's completely fucking blind. So it's like, I have to throw him some kind of bone. It's like, come on, if he's going to try and trick us, he's going to have to work a little harder to get away with it, you know? Sansa's a hothead, but I don't think he's trouble. I just think he's a hothead. Clover, our little pink-haired friend, she's got enough of an attitude about her that maybe she could be trouble, but I think she's fine. It was just the moment there was a knife against her neck, and her first thought wasn't like, oh my god, be like, don't kill me. It was, yeah, what are you gonna do? I was like, no, don't say that. Don't taunt the fucking man. I remember Godot couldn't see red. Yeah, true. June, I'm terrified, is a bait because she's by far the most trustworthy person here, and I think that's a bait, you know? Like, it's like, because she's so trustworthy, I'm expecting her to be like the fucking mastermind. As at Seven, it's just that he's a complete hothead and like a complete brawn, and it's like, I think he could be trouble if something sets him off. Lotus is aloof. I don't think that it's straight up that she's like, you know, bad or uncaring. It's just that she doesn't really, well, uncaring towards us is that she's kind of just like rolling with the punches and just kind of riding it out. So she's a little bit like, whatever, let's just carry on. So sometimes it comes across like she just doesn't care about the other people. And the bird's nest, well, he's fucking dead, so it doesn't matter.
Why don't we check those 3 reds again, just in case?
You're right.
Yeah, now we're all together.
Huh,
According
there's
to...
a long, thin gap on the bottom.
According to our split, we're not at it yet, but it's going to split 3 ways. So I think these 3 doors are going to become active eventually. The only thing is that after this split is when shit starts getting crazy. Because look at all the splits and how these paths never converge ever again. So it's like, whatever split I take here, I'm like now on my ending path, you know? Like, if I go this way, it's kind of a straight road to the end. If I go this way, it can go real damn far, and it still has 2 splits. But it could also split off back into this path, or split off into this path, you know? Like, my next choice, when we get to this point, is gonna start mattering.
I think it's a slot for something. Probably electronic.
But as I said last stream, I'm going to commit to my path all the way to the very end. So I'm going to wait until we hit, like, say, for example, I hit this. And then once we hit that and we reach our ending, I will go back, probably, honestly, all the way here and go through the 5 door to do this section. And then start branching out and start seeing what we can get. I did a little bit of looking into it. I haven't looked at what you're supposed to do because I kind of want to figure it out myself. It's only if we, like, do everything, but apparently there's a bunch of very specific things hidden away in specific chapters that if you can find and do all of them, once you've cleared enough endings, there'll be an extra route off of the end of one of these that will allow you to get the true ending of the game. So you do have to do more than one path at bare minimum, because I think this will be like, there's something that's like on this path, for example, and then there'll be something on this path. So you have to do at least 2 runs anyway. So I want to try every ending because, like, I want to do the escape rooms. I genuinely enjoy the escape room puzzles.
Well, this isn't good.
But speaking of Godot, I know he's not in 4, 5, and 6, but I genuinely can't wait for Phoenix Wright 4, 5, and 6 to come out in the end of January. I don't know if I'll be playing them on stream because there's a lot of other shit coming out not too far away from it. You know, it's like it's going to be like fighting for my time. But it's, you know, I've been in the mood. I've got that itch for more Phoenix Wright recently.
Well, what about that hallway over there? Isn't there anywhere else we can go?
And I think January would be a good time to scratch it.
No, there isn't. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else.
There was something though, like because I was talking, because like once I finish streaming, sometimes I end up chatting to my mum about it, like what I was playing and like what we were learning, sort of thing. When I was telling her about Ace, like the guy on the right, the fact that he's always very level-headed, the one that always takes a step back to like study the situation, to try and like, you know, figure everything out, try and bring people together. My mum made a point where it said maybe that could actually make him like a potential suspect for the mastermind, because maybe he does know it for a reason, and he's trying to lead you all along. And I'm like, I'm gonna choose to trust him, but maybe we'll see. That on the same time, Infinite Wealth, dude. It's way worse than that, my guy. In the span of exactly 7 days, we have Tomb Raider, we have Tekken 8, we have Phoenix Wright, we have Suicide Squad, for all 2 people who care about that, we have Yakuza Infinite Wealth, we have Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, and Persona 3 Remake. In the span of just 1 week. I'm just like, please. And it's like, Tomb Raider is part of why I'm not playing Phoenix Wright on stream, because I'm playing Tomb Raider on stream when that comes out, the 1, 2, 3 remaster. Tekken 8 I really want to play, but I don't know where I'm going to fit it in. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink I really want to play. It looks like a fantastic action RPG. Persona 3 Remake I want to get, but I won't be playing it on stream because that game's going to be like 90 hours long. That's like a for me. And then, of course, like, then there's Phoenix Wright 4, 5, 6, which aren't short games either. It's just like, that week is so mean. As in, I really don't give a shit about Suicide Squad. I just know that's also coming out in that week. And then when I've just barely, like pulled myself together and survived the ordeal and, like, finally started to get my finances back, I'm going to take another bullet because February 29th is Final Fantasy. I'm like, no!
Hospital rooms. That's what's behind all those doors?
Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one.
There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked.
Also, something else I learned that was kind of interesting. The original DS release of this game didn't have voice acting, full stop. It was only in the remaster that they went back to it and added both English and Japanese voice acting.
don't really care about infinite wealth Phoenix, right? Fair enough. Which I just thought was kind of just an interesting detail. Both of the sequels always had voice acting, I believe. Just this original one, it was just entirely text.
There was an astrological symbol engraved near
Outside of, like, the escape rooms.
I was able to get a good feel of it. I believe it was the symbol of Jupiter.
Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere.
Oh no, not another planetary symbol. Says like an Asalir Lydian Suli fan in particular. Oh fuck, not Mars again. The bane of my existence trying to get a fusion out of that. Lydian Suli, I'm pretty sure, is the reason why I recognized the Mercury symbol when we came to that door earlier. As soon as I saw I was like, oh, isn't that Mercury? It's like, I'm entirely sure it's because of that fucking game. And all, like, the planetary symbols they make you, like, remember as you go through it.
I wonder what they all mean.
For a moment, everyone was silent, deep in thought.
While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room?
I also love, going on another tangent, that they showed off the fact that in Phoenix Strike 4, 5, and 6, there's going to be a model mode where you can take any of the character models, position them any way you want, and then put them in any backdrop you want, including a fucking green screen. And I'm like, they know what they're doing here. They know what they're doing here. People are absolutely going to use that for like their FMVs or like their stories and whatnot. Just like put the character modeling in green screens or whatever. I was like, they know exactly what demon they're unleashing with this. But that's a fantastic feature, and I applaud Capcom for thinking about doing that, for even considering doing that. All visual novel-esque games should have a green screen mode, so you could fuck around with them like that.
I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this.
Of all people, it was Seven who answered, and with calm confidence.
Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Chances are it's the Gigantic.
The Gigantic?
Why does the Gigantic sound like a... I mean, it's probably deliberate, but it sounds like a relative of the Titanic. You know, Titan, Gigantic, Titanic. They're both, like, big things. Junpei looks confused. What did everyone else?
What is this gigantic?
Seven knit his brows for a moment, then began to explain.
The Gigantic. She was a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century.
What did I fucking say?
Actually, the Titanic had two sister ships, and they looked exactly the same. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. They intended to make her a passenger liner like the Titanic, but World War I began soon after the ship launched. The British Navy took her over and made her a hospital ship. At some point during the war, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She ran aground afterwards, so she didn't end up sunk. What happened to her after that? One theory going around is that a man named Lord Gordain bought her. Seemed like he'd been one of the few to survive the Titanic sinking. That trauma turned him into some kind of obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. Soon enough, the guy wanted the Titanic itself, which was impossible, of course. It's stuck at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, but the Gigantic wasn't. And seeing as she was identical...
So you're saying this Lord Gordain bought this ship?
Yeah, at least I think I am.
That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old.
No way we're in some boat that's 100 years old. Now allow me to go walk home to my random house on some random hill that's over 200 years old. Like, come on, most of the houses that are on, like in most, like, especially, like, rural neighborhoods have been around since, like, the 60s at bare minimum, my guy. No way we're in a ship that's this old. And he goes back to his home that's old.
Pipe down, just pay attention. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof?
Proof?
Proof that this ship is really the Gigantic.
Like, if I was Seven, I'd turn around and go, do you think I have proof? I was just spitballing.
Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So, I just figured...
Oh, for goodness. Don't tell me that's your only reason.
No, I've got more.
Like?
Well, I mean...
Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lotus's piercing stare. He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. Finally, he opened his mouth.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed and shook her head.
I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it?
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, whoa, wait a minute. Memory isn't back?
Junpei was, he felt, legitimately shocked by what seemed to be new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he had said something very strange.
Yeah.
Your point being?
He decided to revise his attitude for the next question.
Was I the only one that didn't know?
Everyone nodded. Oh, well, I'll just go fuck myself then.
Why?
Oh, yeah. I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. I told them I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up.
What?
Then, almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment, he can't help not knowing. A bell began to ring from far away. Parents here. Hey there, Junpei.
A bell.
It sounds like the clock in the main stairway.
Junpei counted each chime carefully.
10, 11, 12. 12.
It's midnight.
It's midnight.
I wrote this game.
Then we've still got 6 hours left, right?
We don't have any time to screw around. Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts for the Reds.
What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that?
We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look.
One?
Well, not just one.
He's referring to the corridor of a million doors. Yep. Oh,
Wait.
no. Yeah, even Lotus is like, hang on a fucking minute. There's like 20,000 doors here. What do you mean? What do you mean? We haven't got 6 hours to fucking search every single one of them.
Don't tell me you mean we need to search all of the other rooms.
Don't freak out. We've already searched 4 of them.
Oh, great, because that really helps.
4 rooms?
We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each of us can do 6 rooms apiece, we'll have the other 48 rooms cleared in no time.
There are 48 other rooms?
Man, the voice acting is not matching the written dialogue sometimes, is it? No, it really isn't, even in advanced mode. I thought maybe in advanced mode, like, it's just because advanced mode, this mode, is literally just a dialogue. You don't get any of the in-between of the visual novel stuff, where it's like, where the characters are describing things, which is why I always have it in novel mode. Because her early experiences had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust Seven. That wouldn't appear if I was on the other screen. Seven scratched his head awkwardly. It would have literally just gone from, there are 48 rooms left, to, I don't know.
Alright, so...
I know advanced mode would probably be better when you are going back through runs, because you can just basically skip the in-between dialogue. Then you only have to put up with the talking, but still. Alright, everyone knows which way they're searching. Are we on the next chapter? We're still on this chapter, so it's still a straight line.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love the enthusiasm, June. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft.
We'll all meet up when the clock goes off again.
We'll meet in an hour.
How about in that room with all the beds?
Yeah, sounds straightforward enough.
I'll shout if I find any of the components we need.
I hope we can find them within the time limit.
If we can't, then we'll just have to come up with another plan.
Hey, question. If we all got to search 4 rooms, like however many rooms a piece or whatever, how's Snake searching? He's going to take a lot longer to search the rooms, considering he's blind. And like, if he's going to be on his own. Like, Clover's going to have to stick with him, right? But if Clover's sticking with him, then there's only 7 people really exploring.
Right. Then let's do this.
The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each of the rooms they'd been assigned. However... Are we on a new chapter now? Wait, Junpei heard the bell ring. Yeah, we're on a new... Okay. It's only once. It was 1 a.m.
It's 1. I better get back to the others.
What do you run? What was it? Yeah, footsteps. Ding, 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 ding. It jog through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there.
Huh?
A, Santa, Clover, June, 7, and Lotus. Meaning... Snake's not back yet, but he's... And... someone else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 7. Oh, there's only one person missing. Never mind. In front of the door numbered 8. Or perhaps to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to the door numbered 8. Oh, is it active now?
Over there.
And one of them found the missing piece.
What happened, guys?
It was June who answered him.
Jumpy, look!
She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. Immediately, he knew what it had meant.
Vacant?
Junpei sighed.
Come on, guys. Who was it? I thought we were supposed to yell if we found it.
Well...
Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut.
What the hell? What is up with you guys?
They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke.
Well, that's the thing. We don't know.
You don't know?
When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red.
What? Let me see.
Which means Zero probably did it, and he deliberately made us waste another hour of this bullshit. Or... there's someone here in our group who isn't as honest about what's going on. We might have someone in our group who, like, as soon as everyone left, just, like, waited until everyone was clearly exploring the rooms and just fucking came back and put them in. And then went back to pretend to explore. Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. The slot that had been opened from the bottom was now covered with metal.
You're right. It's in there. What about the other 2?
They're the same.
Let me take a look.
Junpei quickly examined the other 2 boxes.
It's just as you said.
Alright, time to start thinking about which route we're taking. Well, if it's 8 of us, and there's 3 doors... we won't be able to go through all 3. Because it requires at least 3 people, and there's 8 of us. So someone will be unable to go through. So our best bet would be to have one door be left and then split into 2 groups of 4, so we have people together still. Because we physically can't make it 2-2, 2-2 and 3. If one of them is a group of 3, that's the only door that can be used. And if you make it 2 groups of 3, you're leaving someone on their own back here. So 2 groups of 4 just makes the most sense. Which means we need a group of 4 that can make a 3, 7, or an 8.
Alright, I just want to be sure here. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right?
Correct.
None.
Ace and June nodded silently. 7 raised his hand as if to say, not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her head and did nothing.
Wait a minute.
That was when he noticed. Where's your brother, Clover?
Where's Snake?
Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snake was nowhere to be seen.
Does that mean that he found them?
I've no idea. There's nothing to suggest it. But nothing to suggest he didn't either.
He also might just be taking time to get back, considering he can't see. He has to kind of run his hand across the wall as his way back.
Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to?
Maybe he's lost.
Yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see.
Yeah, even like Santa and I are on the same page here. Clover raised her head.
No! That's impossible!
Suddenly, she was shouting.
Yeah, my brother's blind, but he's got really great hearing. He can get around as well as anyone who can see.
Why are you freaking out, Clover?
So couldn't get lost. That's impossible.
Or is it just that it's dawned on you that if he's lost, he could die in here? Clover started to shake, and the knuckles of her hands had gone white. I think that's what it is. I think she's a little attached to her brother, and I think the idea of if he gets lost, there's a chance he could die has dawned on her. She spun around, but before she did, Junpei noticed tears welling up in her eyes.
I'm gonna go look for him.
The words were barely out of her mouth when she began to run.
Hey, hold on, Clover. Wait.
Junpei cried out to her, but he was too slow. She kept going, and before anyone else could react, she was gone.
That didn't work. Damn it. What should we do now?
Well, the red is working now.
Did he actually prove he's blind? I mean, no, he didn't. The only reason it was, like, treated as such is because he always has his eyes closed when we see him, and usually Clover sticks by his side to basically hold onto his sleeve to make sure he's going the right way.
No, we're not leaving two people behind. We should go look for them.
Oh man, this ain't good.
Oh, yes, what an excellent idea. We just wasted a bunch of time looking for some piece of electronic junk. Now let's waste some more by looking for a couple of idiots.
Then remain here if you feel you must, but there's no time.
Ace is like, look, if you want to stay here bitching, it's time that you could spend looking around. There's nothing entirely definitive. No, not at all.
We've only 5 hours left.
Junpei and the others nodded to one another and took off at a run. In front of the stairs that led to B deck, they decided to split up.
Split up.
They split up and looked for clues.
All right, I'll take this direction.
Then I shall look that way.
I'll be over here.
See you all later.
Soon, only 2 of them were left. The 2 were Junpei and Jin, who had been a few steps behind the others.
All right, we should go too.
Yes, let's go.
I love your enthusiasm, June, but like, take it down a notch. Alright, let's go do it. Yes! Let's go! Okay, Jin, I get it. I get you're excited.
But where should we start?
Let's see.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, God. Oh, there's a lot of options here. I'm saving. The casino, the first-class cabin, the hallway with all the rooms, or back to the large hospital room. Why would they go up to B deck? That's the thing, like, we were all investigating the hallway with the rooms, so theoretically he should be down there. We just left the hospital room, so what purpose do we have going back there? But why would we go upstairs to the casino or the cabin? Like, what? We don't have a reason to, right?
We should go check out that hallway with all the rooms.
Okay, let's go, Jumpy.
They turned around and took off down the hallway to their left. It makes the most sense.
It's Ace.
Yeah, we're not at a split point yet. Ahead of them, further down the hallway, they spotted
Hey,
Ace.
Snake! Where are you? Answer me if you're there!
What should Junpei do? I don't fucking know. Oh, I don't like this putting so many choices in front of me. I'm scared I'm gonna make the wrong one. I'll go check on Ace. With Jun in tow, Junpei jogged up to Ace. Hearing their footsteps, he turned to greet them.
Ah, hello there.
Hello there.
Snake is... Well, that's obvious, isn't it? I assume you haven't found him yet?
Yeah, doesn't seem like you're having any luck either.
I really wonder where he could have gone.
Well, wherever he's disappeared to, we must find him as quickly as we can. For Clover's sake.
Right.
June's face looked kind of enraptured.
By the way, do you think Clover and Snake are really siblings?
Why would you say that?
Why would you say that? The question seems somehow odd to Junpei.
Why? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? They don't look alike at all.
Ace looked at him for a moment and then spoke.
Yes, you know, now that you mention it, they don't.
Now that you mention it?
Still, there are a great many siblings who do not look like one another. It certainly isn't rare.
Junpei wasn't sure why, or even if he was seeing what he thought he was, but he could have sworn that Ace's face tightened as he spoke.
At any rate, we really must find Snake as soon as possible.
Ace is like, at any rate, can we stop like questioning whether Snake and Clover are siblings?
The clock is ticking. We really can't afford to waste any time. Very well. Let's get back to the search, shall we? You can leave this area to me.
All right. Let's go, Jumpy.
At June's urging, they left. Oh, well, that didn't work. They found themselves back at the stairs, but Junpei's mind was in turmoil.
Something about that was... I'll think on it later.
Oh, is that important? Is that important, Ace? Like the whole thing with Snake and Clover? Or is the thing important Ace's response? Because that's suspicious as hell, that response. I'm gonna make a note. Ace. Weird about the sibling discussion. I just made a note next to Ace's name. Perfect resemblance. They'd share some traits, right? True.
Like Ace said, finding Snake is our top priority.
Best to clear his mind.
Right. Where should we go next?
Oh, okay, so it doesn't matter as much as I thought it did. I was worried it was going to, like, make all my choices, but no, we have to go down, presumably each path. But, like, so I just don't get why we'd go upstairs.
Let's
I guess
take a look around the casino.
Okay, let's go.
They quickened their pace and headed for B-deck. Before they knew it, they were there. So was Lotus. She was leaning against a wall, examining her nails. Bitch, can you, like, stop being so aloof for 1 minute?
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
She glanced up at him, unimpressed.
Isn't it obvious? I'm looking for Snake.
I'm just not seeing it.
Really? Maybe you need to look harder.
I don't think that's the problem.
Oh, by the way, I've got a proposal for you two. Care to hear it?
Refuse and leave. Yeah, fuck you, bitch. Now I'll listen.
What is it?
Well, I don't like to beat around the bush, so I'll get right to it. Why don't we team up?
Team up?
Yeah. What? You need me to explain it to you? I'm saying, why don't we go through a numbered door?
Even if we wanted to, that's impossible.
Is it? 1 second. Me Smile, June, Lotus. Yeah, no, that's not fucking happening then. That's not fucking happening. The three of us make number one. We need someone else in our posse for that to happen. If we take Clover with us, that makes 5, so you still can't get through those doors. If we take 7 with us, 8, we could get through one of the doors, but we'd have to take 7 with us. If we took Big Man Ace, that wouldn't get us through a door. We need I think it's a 3, 7, or 8. So I'm getting sidetracked. Santo we already know gives us 4, because that's the team we literally just had. If we take Snake with us, that gives us 3, but he'd have to separate him from his sister.
Why?
Jumpy's bracelet number is 5, mine is 6, and yours is 8. Our digital root would be 1.
Yeah, because 5, 6, and 8 is 19. 1 plus 9 is 10. 1 plus 0 is 1.
But there's no number 1 door in the large hospital room. The only doors there are 3, 7, and 8.
Then we add another person.
Huh?
Who?
What? Isn't that easy? 7.
Fuck me! Oh, I got too lost in the source of the maths. I was like, oh, I mean 7 we could add. Because like literally... That's 8, that opens the door.
Oh, if we add 7, 5 plus 6 plus 8 plus 7 equals 26. The digital root of 26, 2 plus 6 equals 8.
Then the 4 of them could go through the 8 door. But...
What about the other 4? Ace, Snake, Santa, and Clover.
Why don't you add them up?
You know what, Lotus? I will. Ace. They're fucked. They're fucked. They can't go anywhere. If we make a team of those four, they're literally locked in. They can't go anywhere. That was simple enough.
Plus 2 plus and 1 plus 0.
Makes 10.
The digital root for those four would be 1.
That's right.
And you know the number 1 door isn't in the big hospital room, right?
Of course I know that.
No! Are you saying you'd leave them behind?
Of course not. What kind of woman do you think I am?
Someone who, when we was in life-threatening danger, took a nap on the counter. Someone who, just now, instead of searching for Snake, was looking at her fucking nails. Someone who is very shown to be very aloof and self-serving more than anything. I think you're just looking for the shortest path to victory.
Once we get off the ship, we could come back and rescue them, couldn't we? Then we wouldn't really be leaving them behind.
Don't try to lie to us. I don't think you do anything of the sort.
Really? Why do you think that?
Like, even June's like, I don't trust you anymore.
You remember, don't you? We have less than 5 hours left. Even if we manage to escape, there's no way we could come back to rescue them in less than 5 hours.
Well, you never know until you try.
No, you're not thinking this through. Even if we brought 7 with us, we wouldn't be able to get off the ship. The 4 of us couldn't open door 9. It is hidden, but an exit can be found.
Yeah, somewhere on this ship is a door with a 9 on it. And you need to open that door to get out. We physically wouldn't be able to get out with just us 4, because there's no rearrangement of it that would give us a 9.
Seek a way out. Seek a door that carries a 9.
Yeah, that's right. The digital root for the 4 of us would be 8, so we'd have to add Ace to make 9.
That's right. Unless we bring Ace too, we'll be stuck.
I just scratched the back of her ear.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate? That's all you have to say?
She didn't sound particularly bothered by what Junpei said. Nor did she seem particularly surprised.
Well, let's try and find another way, okay? A way to get out of here with all 8 of us.
That's impossible. Are you being serious? And you do know that only 5 people, at most, can go through one of the numbered doors, right? The number 9 isn't going to be an exception to that rule. Regardless, at least 3 people will get left behind.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, shit. Lotus actually has a point. Uh-oh.
Huh.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, there's no way all of us will live by default, which is why she's now thinking ahead and trying to, like, separate people out.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
The moment he said it, Junpei felt a chill run down his spine. No, wait just a second.
Really big detail.
Yeah, what she said was true, but how Lotus could remain cavalier about so terrifying a prospect was beyond him.
Is that really okay? That means 3 people will die in the end. Are you okay with that? That's just...
Lotus's forehead furrowed.
You think I could have a moment alone? There are some things I need to think about.
Junpei and June turned and began walking away from Lotus.
That didn't turn out to be a very pleasant conversation.
Oh, I'm sorry, June.
Yeah.
Junpei's heart felt heavy and his steps sluggish. But he told himself pessimism would get him nowhere.
Well, regardless,
So he forced himself to smile and turned to June.
let's just focus on finding Snake for now, okay?
Yes, you're right. We can think about those other things later.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
Alright. Where should we go next?
The first class cabin. Once we're already up here.
The first class cabin. It's really close.
Turned around and took off down the hallway to the left. Outside the first class cabin, they found Clover, standing in front of the wall. She was staring at a meaningless point of the wall, her eyes blank.
Are you alright?
Hey, buddy. He did his best to sound friendly, but Clover didn't respond.
Look, I know you're really worried, but...
He could think of no words to say that didn't sound hollow and fake. Junpei hesitated. Clover was so consumed by worry and fear that Junpei feared it would crush her. Her actions didn't surprise him. She had suddenly lost her brother, who had seemed to have been very close too.
Alone.
Her voice was thin and barely audible.
Alone.
Hmm?
Alone.
She's alone.
I said leave me alone!
Oh, never mind. Suddenly she was screaming.
You're so annoying! Just go away and leave me alone! Just looking at you guys is pissing me off! Go away, okay? Just go somewhere else! Stop bothering me!
Junpei was taken aback. Such anger and hate. Jun's eyes had gone wide with surprise as well.
Why are you still here? Didn't you hear me? Huh? Fine, forget it. If you aren't gonna leave, then I'll just...
All right, let's go, June.
Yeah.
They turned and left Clover. As they did, Junpei glanced back over his shoulder to see Clover wiping tears from her face. Clover had driven home the misery of their situation, but Junpei told himself that getting depressed would get him nowhere but depressed.
We really need to find Snake, for Clover's sake.
It is best to push away the misery and depression and force a smile.
Where do you think we should go next?
Everywhere we've been, we went to Ace, and he kind of like, we don't know if he can be trusted. We went to the casino, and Lotus hella can't be trusted, and we learnt some trivia we kind of didn't want to, and Clover's a mess, so I guess we'll just go back to the hospital room.
Let's head back to the large hospital room.
Alright, that's probably the best idea.
Together, they ran down the stairs.
Hey, wait, that's...
On their way to the large hospital room, Junpei and June noticed Santa standing next to the number 3 door.
Santa?
Junpei paused. What should Junpei do? Junpei and June walked up to Santa.
What are you doing?
What? You can't tell? I'm checking out the red.
Why? Is there something bothering you?
What? It's not bothering you?
Huh?
The guts of this red. Why wouldn't you wonder who the hell put it back in here?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm curious too, but...
Who do you think did it?
Santa's eyes narrowed as he looked at June. She shook her head.
I don't know.
Well, what about you, Junpei? Who do you think fixed this thing for us?
Zero, maybe?
I think it was probably Zero.
Why?
Isn't that obvious? He's the guy who set this whole thing up.
You don't think that should mean the opposite? Seems to me like that means he didn't do it. I mean, who do you think took that stuff out in the first place?
Probably Zero.
Yeah, exactly. And why the hell would he put him back in after he'd taken them out himself? It just doesn't make sense. Why do all that work?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So, what happened then? Who put that stuff back in the Reds?
Junpei furrowed his
So,
brow.
in other words, one of us is the person who fixed the red.
Santa grinned.
Bingo! We have a winner.
But if that's true, then the person who did it doesn't want the rest of us to know that they fixed it.
Yeah,
But why?
no idea. Maybe if they come clean on that, it means we'd find out something else. Something bad.
Something bad?
Dunno. But whatever it is, it's gotta be worth hiding. Of course, it could have something to do with Snake's disappearance.
You think maybe they did something to Snake?
Yeah.
Junpei stared at Santa. There was something about him that made Junpei wary. At first, he assumed the other man wasn't terribly clever, but Junpei was beginning to think that he'd need to reevaluate that assessment. When Santa spoke again, his voice was quiet.
If you trust anybody in this game, you're gonna lose. You've gotta be careful. The person you trust the most could turn out to be the one who stabs you in the back.
The one who trusts me the most could be bad. Fucking marches out of it, goes straight up to Ace. Hey, you son of a bitch! It's like, what did I do? You're the one I trust the most, so clearly you must be bad. It was a pressing suggestion. He turned and quietly walked away.
That's that, I guess.
Junpei and June looked at one another and smiled awkwardly. Where would they go next? We've been everywhere! Just in case. They looked everywhere they could think of, but Snake was nowhere to be found.
Snake hasn't been anywhere we've searched.
I just looked around at 6 frustrated faces and spoke.
And we can't keep looking for him. Wherever he is, it's not here. We need to get moving.
Junpei couldn't disagree with what she was saying. Snake seemed to have completely disappeared. There was no point in wasting any more time. The others seemed to be having similar thoughts, but they stayed silent. Finally, Seven spoke.
We don't got a choice. Lotus is right. We're not gonna find Snake. There's a problem, though. We've got to figure out who's gonna go through which door.
Yes, I have a proposal.
She walked back and forth across the floor, her heels clicking against the wood. Finally, she stopped.
Why don't we decide on one person to sacrifice?
Sacrifice?
She's going to say 2 groups of 3.
Perhaps that's a bit of a harsh word, but yes. You've all figured it out by now, haven't you? We can't all make it through those doors. If we split into 2 teams of 4 and 3 people respectively, then 3 people will be left behind.
Oh, she's done the maths. I think she's saying no matter what organization, like combination you do, if a group of 4 can make a 3, 7, or 8, the group of 3 can't make any of the other numbers.
If we split into 2 teams of 5 and 2 people respectively, then 2 people will be left behind.
Yeah, because the 2 can't, because you need at least 3 people.
But if we split into 2 groups of 3 and leave 1 person out, then only 1 person will be left behind.
And 3 people with 2 teams of 4 and 3. Right? Like, if we get 84 people... Oh, okay. Well, I found our winning 4. Potentially. Sansa, Clover, me, and June. That tracks. So, yeah, so if we do this... The 3 left behind can't go. Well... Yes, they can. She's not right. She's not right. I can challenge that. Because 1, 3, and 4. Ruby wasn't quite sure this was true.
2 people get left behind if we split into 5 and 2, and 1 person is left behind if we split into 3, 3, and 1. I got that part. You can't go through the numbered doors with any less than 3 people. But if we split into 4 and 3, then why do 3 people have to be left behind?
Just run the numbers. Let's say we go through door 7 with 1, 4, 5, 6. Who's left over?
That would be 3, 7, 8.
What's the digital root for that?
3 plus 7 plus 8 is 18.
9.
Exactly. But door 9 isn't here, right? That means 3, 7, 8 won't be going anywhere.
Yeah, but, you dumb bitch, 5, 6, 7, 8 is 8. 1, 3, 4, if you can get a hold of Clover. Oh, it's actually also 8. Never mind, we both go through the same fucking door. Damn it. I don't like the idea of leaving June behind anyway. It's why, like, every math I do 5 and 6, because I don't want to leave June behind. I want her to stick with me. Ah, damn it.
That was just an example, of course. There are a lot of different combinations, but the result will always be the same.
Fine, you win
Doesn't
this
matter
one.
which 4 it is. The 3 that are left over can't go through any of the doors. Go ahead and calculate it if you have the time.
I was.
Anyway, that's how it is. Now, if we can get back to my proposal, we only have to sacrifice one person if we split into 3, 3, and 1.
Seven spoke, his voice was strained.
Then you're saying we gotta decide who's gonna stay behind.
Yes, we do. Given our circumstances, it's logically and morally the best solution. If the other 6 are to survive, then one person has to sacrifice themselves.
No, that's too cruel.
What's so cruel about it?
To just sacrifice someone like that?
Then what's your plan? Maybe we should sacrifice 2 people instead of just 1.
That's not what I meant. We shouldn't sacrifice anyone.
I told you, that's impossible. Wake up.
Whoa, whoa, calm down, you two.
Santa stepped between Lotus and June.
Look, what Lotus is trying to say is, you should aim to bring the greatest amount of happiness to the greatest amount of people, right?
Exactly. That's how democracy works. And for that reason, I think the only fair way to decide who will be sacrificed is through a vote.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
What do you think?
No, that's terrible.
I'm not asking you. Shut up. What about you, Santa?
Me? Well, I agree, I guess.
All right, that's 1 vote for. Counting mine, that's 2. 7.
I can't say I agree with you, but we don't exactly have a choice. If we don't do something, we're all gonna die.
Oh, glad to see you get it. If I can get 1 more vote, then it's decided. What about you, Clover?
Oh, welcome back, Clover. Clover had moved away from the group and was sitting on one of the beds. Her whole body drooped. Junpei didn't know if she'd even heard Lotus's proposal.
Clover.
Lotus walked over to Clover and gently laid a hand on her shoulder.
Your brother has to be behind one of the numbered doors. We've searched everywhere, but we didn't find him. Doesn't that mean he has to have gone through one of them somehow?
But that doesn't make sense. He can't have. Clover slowly lifted her face.
Let's go look for him together, okay? If we sacrifice one person, then we can go look for him. You agree with me?
You are manipulating her, Lotus.
Right?
You are manipulating that girl.
Okay.
Clover nodded once.
The motion carries.
Lotus spun around and walked towards Junpei.
Now, let's start a vote too.
That won't be necessary.
Ace had barely spoken from Lotus' entire speech, and everyone jumped a little. 6 pairs of eyes turned to look at him. He didn't seem to notice or even care.
We'll stay. That should solve our problem, yes?
Ace, what are you saying? No, you can't do that. That won't solve anything.
June's voice shook, and she looked around desperately for someone to agree with her. Ace simply looked at her.
June, I'm afraid you may have misunderstood me. I said I would stay, but I never said I would sacrifice myself.
Huh?
I trust you. Each and every one of you. I believe you'll come back for me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. There's optimistic, and then there's just nuts. Those doors only go one way. You go in, you don't come out. If we go through them...
You won't be able to return, correct?
Yeah.
True, but that will not be the case once you've escaped from the ship.
What?
Please, I beg you. Once you've escaped, come back and rescue me. Ideally, within the time limit Zero has given us.
No, that's ridiculous. There's no
I'm
way
now
we can
convinced
get back
Ace
in
is the
time.
bad guy. You know, I was actually thinking the same thing. I was like, he wants to stay behind so he can just go do his bullshit behind the scenes. You know, like... Finally, Junpei could hold his tongue no
We
longer.
only got 5 hours left. We don't even know where the hell we are. How on earth are we gonna find someone to come and rescue you?
Then, perhaps you would prefer to stay instead of me? Or perhaps you would be willing to leave June behind?
Don't bring my girl into this. Ace's voice was dignified and without a hint of cruelty or malice. Junpei had no rebuttal.
See, there's no other choice. Then I see we've come to our conclusion. Go on. Don't worry yourselves about me. Go, quickly.
Junpei stood frozen by indecision, unable to move. Jun bit her lip so hard that Junpei feared she would break the skin. Santa stood against the wall, calm and aloof. Seven tore his beanie from his head and turned it over anxiously in his hands. Only Clover stared at Ace, with an expression Junpei was unable to decipher. Lotus's attitude, however, was different from the others.
Let's accept his kind offer then.
Fuck off, Lotus. I don't trust Lotus at all. She manipulated the shit out of Clover to get what she wanted. Because there's no way Snake could have gone through one of those doors alone, because the rules of the system physically prevents it. The door will not open unless 3 people participate. So there's no way on this God's green earth he could have physically gone through that door. But because Clover isn't thinking straight, because she's scared her brother might be dead, she could just whisper anything in her ear and she'd go, okay. And she knows that, which is why she did it. Because she tried to play all nice and was like, hey, your brother might be in one of these doors. Let's go look for him together. You manipulated the fucking shit out of Clover. She smiled, her eyes bright. Ace answered with a smile of his own.
I think this is the best for me. Perhaps I'll be able to take a nap. It may be my age, but I get tired so easily these days.
Ace, I think Ace can't be trusted. Which sucks, because he's the one I trusted the most when we started. As he spoke, Ace lowered himself down to the floor next to one of the beds. From somewhere deep within the ship, Junpei suddenly heard the screeching of metal on metal. It was almost as if the ship was screaming. Would it really hold until the time limit was up? Already, D-deck was flooded. In the sudden silence, the only sound was the sad metal wail of the ship. Unsurprisingly, it was Lotus who spoke first.
Well, what are you waiting for? We're wasting time. Why don't we hurry it up?
As if a spell had been broken, the others all began to talk at once.
You're right. We should get going. That's all we can do right now.
7.
Seriously. Honestly, I was getting kind of sick of listening to you guys talk.
You too, Santa? I have to find my brother. Wait, all of you. Let's just calm down and think about this.
Oh, I feel for June. She's the only one that's like, that man's gonna fucking die. Like, we can't just be like, alright, time to carry on. Like, I feel for her so much.
There has to be a way to get everyone out. There has to be. Right, Jumpy? Say something.
Yeah, let's think. There's gotta be another way.
His words sound hollow and fake.
Fine. Forget about it. I'll figure it out on my own.
She spun around and ran towards Ace. He had slumped down next to the bed when June grabbed his arm and pulled.
Ace! Come on, Ace. Please stand up. You can't give up yet. We just have to sit down together and think about this. We'll figure out a way that we can all get out of here.
Then it happened. Ace fell forward. He slumped over onto the wooden floor, his body folded in half like a boxer out cold.
Ace!
June cried out and dropped to her knees beside him. She put her arm around his neck and did her best to lift him up.
What happened? Ace, say something!
She shook him, frantically. His eyes fluttered open.
I'm all right.
His voice was weak and slightly slurred.
How are you all right?
This.
He held out his left arm and slowly opened his hand.
A syringe?
It was a syringe and a small vial. The vial was empty. It had only recently been emptied. A few drops clung to his sides. It was a label taped to the side of the container. It read, Sulforil Beta. Sulforil Beta?
Sulforil Beta. What does this do? Did you use this?
Yes. It's just anesthetic. I'll be fine.
Anesthetic?
I found it earlier. While we were searching the hospital rooms, I thought it might be useful later. I didn't think I'd be using it on myself.
He's just going to take a nap, so he's not just sitting around doing fuck all.
Why did you do this?
Didn't I tell you? I'd like to take a nap.
Yep. He's literally just going to... He's or at least going to give the impression that he's just going to take a nap.
I really am very tired.
Junpei knew that wasn't why he'd done it. Ace had injected himself with anesthetic to forestall Junpei and June's attempt to bring him along. If he couldn't move, there was nothing they could do. He'd injected himself so that they would be forced to leave him behind.
Ace,
Is there something you want to say? I just like to sleep a little. Could you keep it down?
no, don't, Ace, don't fall asleep.
You feel warm, so comfortable. I think I'll have a nice dream.
Ace's eyelids drooped further and further, almost as though they were dying. Respect the dedication? Yeah. Respect the hustle.
Ace!
She shook his shoulder again and again, but this time he didn't respond. Yeah, and if things don't work out for him, well, he'll die in his sleep, so he won't feel anything. Only the gentle rising and falling of his chest told him he was alive. You know, if we don't get back in time, and he's not actually like the mastermind or the bad guy or something, he'll die in his sleep anyway, so he won't feel anything. So it's literally like 2 birds with 1 stone. He forces everyone else to keep moving. But he also makes himself have a peaceful end if it goes wrong. Fault Ace if he is the villain, yeah. Junpei was relieved to see he was in fact still breathing.
Let's get him up on a bed.
He lifted Ace up off the floor and laid him on the bed he'd been leaning against. When Junpei turned around, Lotus gave him a look of pity.
Well, we really don't have a choice now. We can't let his sacrifice go to waste, right?
Like you even mean that.
You say something?
No, nothing.
It felt wrong, but he had to agree. And suddenly, Santa spoke.
Yeah, but we're not done choosing yet, are we?
Yeah, we gotta figure out who's going in what door. Alright, so let's bring up the calculator. Ignoring 1 and 2, because Ace is a Kippin, and Snake is nowhere to be found. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8. It's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They both make the same number, so it has to be a mix-up. Okay, we're not at that door. That won't open a door. That won't open a door. If you can tell, I'm trying to make sure I stick with my wife. I'm trying to make sure I stick with my girl. So yeah, that won't work. Come on, there has to be a combo somewhere. That's too high. They're gonna make me split up from June. Oh no. Because none of them make a free 7 or 8. They're gonna make me split up from June. You're a monster, Lotus. I hate you. You're a monster. You're gonna make me split up from June because there's no way I can stick on her team. Because like we do 3, 4, 5, we're good. We do 4, 5, 6, we're not good. We need a 7.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, we haven't decided who's going in what door.
Oh, yes. Yes, that's true.
Enough of this screwing around. Let's decide. You first, Lotus. Which door do you want?
I want door number 8. It's the same number as my bracelet number.
Got it. You're 8. You're next, 7. Which one do you want?
I'll take 7. I can't get along with that old lady.
Yeah, Seven's like, look, I know we had to agree, but doesn't mean I have to put up with Lotus.
What? What did you just say?
Her face distorted by rage, Lotus took a step forward towards 7. He rubbed his hands and made a face like a child caught with his hands in a cookie jar.
Me? I didn't say nothing.
Oh, you're gonna get it next time.
She shot him a glare that would have melted steel, then turned and stalked off.
Alright, who's next?
Alright, so 8 is going through 8's door, so let's run them some numbers. We can go through that door if I go with Clover. Who else? We can't, because she's going through 8 no matter what, so... Yeah, we can only go through it if we go through it with Clover. If we go with 7, however... Okay, that works. We still have to go with Clover. Regardless, we have to go with Clover. But if we push by ourselves to go through the free door, both 7 and 8 aren't available. And I could take Clover and Santa with me. But then, if I take them with me, these 3 are forced to team up. But they can't go through the door. So the free door's out of my hands. Or currently. Which means a choice I made somewhere along the line made it so one of these doors I can't access. Because that's the path of 8, that's 7, and that's 3, I think. Because I think it's structured that way, because these doors facing them head on, that was 4, and yeah. That was Blood Room, that was not Blood Room. And they were, like, if you faced them, like, if you were looking down at them, like, this door was on the left, and this door was on the right. Like, but looking down at them. So I think that is tracking. And there's a gap on the novel list between 7 and 3. So that tracks. So I think the 3 door, which to be fair leads to a dead end over here anyway pretty quickly, is just like something, a decision I made somewhere along this line stopped me from being able to get access to this route on this run. I wonder if it's something I have to pick up on this one. But my choices is literally either go through 7 with Clover and or go with Lotus with Clover. Why did they stop on Junpei?
Okay, which door do you want?
At last, Junpei's mind was already made up. Because I can still pick it, but if I do it, with 3 people have to stay behind, so I can't. So I'm going to save, because we'd end up leaving way more people behind. But the thing is, if I go for door 3... I still can't go with June. So I'd just be fucking people over, and I can't go with June. So I'll have to go door 8.
I think I'm gonna go with door 8.
But then 6, 7, 3... Yeah, they can go through source 7, so they're fine.
Okay, 8 it is. Yeah.
Alright then. That means June's gotta go through 7.
What? Why?
Because there's no way to get the maths to work. Sends a grimace and muttered angrily to himself, but finally began to explain.
The 6 of us are gonna keep going without leaving anyone behind? There are only 3 ways we can do it.
Plan A.
3, 5, and 8 go through 7. And 4, 6, and 7 go through 8. 4, 5, and 7 go through 7. And 3, 6, and 8 go through 8.
Yeah, there's no ability. Like it says, he's going through all the combinations, including if 8 and 7 like went along with each other.
3, 6, and 7
There's no way
7,
for 5 and 6 to go
4,
through
5,
together.
and 8
That's why I figured that out earlier. So either way, we have to separate.
There are no other combinations. In other words, 3 and 4 and 7 and 8 can never go through the same doors. You get it now?
As Santa finished, June looked over at Junpei, tears welling up in the corner of her eyes.
Oh no. You're saying we aren't going to see each other again for a long time.
Junpei felt just as June did. He wanted to be at her side through whatever trials they were preparing to face. But he knew if they were to survive, he had to swallow his feelings. In order for the 6 of them to move forward, he and June had to be separated. He looked at June. He was scared to lose her, but he swallowed, steeled his resolve, and did his best to smile.
Hey, come on. You're making it sound like we're never gonna see each other again. We gotta split up, but only for a while. This is just like when we went into the 4 and 5 doors, remember? We got split up then too, but we all met back up. I'll bet 7 and 8 are just like that.
You mean they're connected somewhere?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
She didn't sound very hopeful. It was 7 who interjected.
I'm sure they're gonna connect somewhere.
Why? What makes you think so?
Yeah, because now she's scared because Jumpy or Junpei is like the only person she completely like unequivocally trusts, and it's like, hey, separate from me. Like, no, she's not gonna be too keen on that.
If they don't, then neither team can get through door 9. In other words, the game would end right here. Zero's been on top of his shit so far. I don't think he'd blow it now. I'm damn sure that son of a bitch wants to have his fun as long as possible. He's not gonna end this game until we get through the 9 door.
Jin said nothing. The tears were gone, but her eyes were still sad as they looked at Junpei. He met them, and with reassurance he could manage. With all the what reassurance he could manage, he laid his hands gently on her shoulder.
Everything's gonna be fine. We're gonna see each other again. I promise.
Jin bit her lip, gave him an almost imperceptible nod.
Yes. Promise?
I promise. Her voice was barely above a whisper. Santa's voice shattered the moment.
You guys are done, right?
We're having a moment! He stretched and continued.
Anyway, that's pretty much it. Clover and I will both go into separate groups.
Yeah.
I figure I'll take 7 and Clover can take 8.
So yeah, myself, Clover, and Lotus. I'm gonna be carrying so hard. Oh no, because Clover's gonna be a mess because she's not with her brother, and Lotus is so fucking aloof and doesn't really care as long as things keep moving, so she's not gonna fucking help us at all.
Any problems with that, Clover?
Clover looked away and was silent for a moment.
Whatever.
It was more of a dismissal than an agreement, but Santa didn't seem to care.
Alright, we're ready to go then. Let's move.
At Santa's command, the group split and headed for their respective doors. Santa, 7, and June walked towards door 7, while Clover, Lotus, and Junpei headed for door 8. For a long moment, they stood in front of the door. Then, Lotus laid her hand against her chest and turned to Junpei and Clover.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then shall we go?
It's open.
I wonder if this digital root shit's gonna be in the sequels as well. Like, am I gonna, like, is it gonna, like, be a different maths in the next game? Or is it also gonna be the digital routing and whatnot? You know, like, am I gonna have to, like, is my brain gonna hurt more and more as the series goes on trying to solve the number puzzles? Or is it gonna change? Or is it gonna be the same? Or what? A narrow hallway stretched out before them.
Okay.
Hurry!
Luz and Clover leapt through the door. The moment they did, their bracelets beeped. The detonators in the bracelet had been activated. Junpei stepped forward to follow them. But as he was about to step over the threshold, he stopped. Ugh. He looked to his left, toward door 7. Jun stood there, a mirror image of Junpei. She turned and looked towards him. Their eyes met.
Jumpy.
They nodded. Their farewell took almost 1.5 seconds. Okay.
What the hell are you doing?
And then we get yanked. Then someone took hold of Junpei's arms and hauled him bodily through the door. He heard the sound of the numbered door slam shut behind him. So I was waiting for the motorbike to pass. The bracelet gave a cold electronic beep.
81 seconds left. Hurry!
Yeah, we need to find the dead. Lotus snapped at him and ran to the dead. Junpei and Clover followed her as fast as they could. Oh, I guess we found it instantly.
It stopped.
With a shaking hand, she wiped a few beads of sweat from her forehead. Clover, however, was calm, aloof perhaps.
Pointless.
Your brother's around. Well, I don't see how he's going to be on the other side of this door because of the rules, but we'll find him. She muttered to herself without emotion and began to walk down the hallway, leaving behind a confused Junpei and Lotus. Lotus watched the girls receding back with a mix of frustration and curiosity.
What an unpleasant girl. I bet she's not very popular with the boys.
Well, alright. Just because she's got a bit of a bro-con going, her sarcasm seemed a little bit more biting than was perhaps necessary, but she sighed and started after the younger girl.
Maybe pairing these two together was a mistake.
To be fair, the alternative was pairing her with 7.
Too late now. I better catch up to them.
I more went with Lotus because I don't trust her, so I want to keep an eye on her than anything else. Just taking a moment. And I don't... And, like, if I go with Lotus, June isn't going with Lotus, you know? Like, I don't trust her, so I'd rather June be with Seven and Silver. Because even though Silver, or Santa, is a bit of, like, like, a hothead, and, like, can be a bit of an asshole, I still kind of trust him. And Seven means well enough, even if he's also kind of an airhead, like, brawn kind of character sort of thing. It's like, I feel June's safe enough with those two, whilst if June was with Lotus, I wouldn't feel she's safe.
Dead end.
The hallway made a number of turns before at last coming to a dead end.
There's a door on the left, though.
A few minutes, they stood in front of the door, examining it. It's Dexter's lab. Above the door on the plate was the word laboratory engraved on it.
A laboratory? Huh.
Oh, that doesn't sound very pleasant. I don't like the look of this place.
Me either. But there aren't any other doors. It's not like we have a lot of choices.
Junpei.
Huh?
Please, you first.
Junpei suspected her politeness was motivated by something other than respect. It's like, hey, if there's a trap in there, you first.
Fine.
Junpei muttered to himself and pushed open the iron door. Is this our next... Oh, I also want to check, quickly, when the text stops rolling. Oh, okay, never mind. I was expecting, like, following this, that this would be door 7, this would be door 8, that would be door 3. No, sorry, 8, 7, 3, and, like, we're on door 8 and it's this path. Like, I was expecting us to be on this path. So we are on this path going down a complete straight line. There's going to be another split later on, but for now, we're on a straight line. I imagine that's going to be the escape room. We've done a lot of novel back-to-back, so I imagine that is going to be the next escape room. Lotus followed him in, and Clover brought up the rear. The room they found themselves in was divided into 2 separate areas by a curved wall. A thick glass window built into that wall made it possible to see into the other side of the division.
You know, I think the window looks into another room.
Maybe it's for monitoring something.
Junpei walked to the window and looked through.
What the hell?
He wasn't sure what else to say. In the center of the room, shaped like a quarter circle, a mannequin lay on what looked like a medical exam table.
Looks so creepy.
Junpei jumped a little. He hadn't noticed Lotus come up next to him.
It's kind of like that doll is waiting for surgery.
This is a laboratory, right? I'd say it's more like it's waiting to be experimented on.
Ooh,
It's creepy either way. You don't think that thing's gonna suddenly sit up or something, do you?
Well, I don't know. I mean, look at all those cables sticking out of it. If we press the wrong button, I don't know.
Stop it. Just thinking about it is terrifying.
She was gripping her arms, the knuckles on her hands white.
Wait, where's Clover?
She was still standing near the entrance of the room. Her face had the appearance of calm, but it was drawn and somehow sad.
What is she?
There was something almost pitiful about her. Junpei walked over to her and, as kindly as he could, spoke.
Are you okay?
Clover looked away.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just worried about you. You've been real quiet.
What? I can't be quiet if I want to?
Well, I mean, of course you can. I just...
Okay then. If I can be quiet if I want, just leave me alone, okay?
Come on, you know I can't do that. We gotta work together.
Junpei, you just don't get it!
I was just about to read. Clover bit her lip and was silent for a moment, then suddenly... A cry took Junpei by surprise, and he stumbled backward a few steps alarmed.
My brother's not the kind of person who'd just leave me behind! Something happened to him! Something bad.
Yeah.
Junpei had nothing to say. Lotus, jolted from her mannequin nightmares by Clover's voice, turned toward them.
What happened?
Clover's eyes slid to Lotus, then back to Junpei.
Just don't bother me, okay? Leave me alone.
Finished, she turned around. Before Junpei or Lotus could say anything, Clover began to walk quickly away.
Hey, wait, Clover! Hold on! That way is...
I told you to leave me alone!
Might as well have been talking to a wall, for all the notice she took of his cries. Not even slowing down, she made for the doorway, cut in the wall in front of her. Without even slowing down, she passed through the doorway.
Clover, watch out above you.
Well, now look what you've done. And without warning, an iron gate fell from the ceiling like a portcullis, stealing Clover in.
What the heck? What's going on here?
Clover grabbed a hold of the iron bars and shook them as hard as she could.
Hang on. I'll get it open.
Oh, for crying out. You'll never do it on your own.
Drippy grabbed the bars and pulled. For a moment, Lotus joined him. The three of them pulled as hard as they could, but